What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm actually going to give you my 1 to 2 day review of Apple's iOS 14. This is a fairly big update they had recently, and I've had it on here for almost 2 days. I downloaded it at night and kind of played around with it the first day. So yesterday was really my first day of actually going about using it. So I thought I would actually just go through and kind of give you guys a first review of it and my initial thoughts. This is not a tutorial on how to use this and all the tricks and features and everything that goes into it. It is just my general thoughts and impressions. So the first thing, go ahead and show you how you would actually do your update. You just go to General, Software Updates, Checks for Updates. So there you can see I am in iOS 14, so you have that. And the first thing you will notice is that you can actually add widgets to the home screen. This is actually something that Android has had for some time, but Apple has finally implemented that. And how you do that is you actually just hold onto the screen and then you just go through here and you can add different widgets. There's a ton of different widget options you can actually do. It's actually a really cool feature, something I like, that kind of adds a little bit of variety to your home screen. The one thing that I do want to mention, ever since I added these widgets on here, my battery life has dropped by probably about 20 to 30% throughout the day. So I have my little battery indicator up here with all my settings. Generally, at the end of the day, I'll have anywhere between 60 and 70% of my battery life left. Ever since I downloaded iOS 14, I usually have between 30 and 40%. So it has dramatically decreased my battery life throughout the day. Again, this is a iPhone 10 XS Max. I've had it for about 2 years, still has 100% battery life, but generally at the end of the day, I'll have that 70%. But just using it, I've only been using it for a couple hours today, and I'm already at 85%. So it does have some drain on the battery life, but I do like it here. So I usually use my weather, and then I'll have my battery indicators and my fitness there. Again, you can add all kinds of stuff. You can add a clock, you can add, your Apple Music, you can add different apps, you can add a calendar. There's all kinds of different varieties of things you can add there, which I think is pretty cool. So that's one thing I noticed right off the bat was you're able to do that. Another thing I noticed is I feel like it's just more vibrant, like the screen. I don't know if they changed a few things with the settings there, but it just feels like it's a little bit more vibrant, a little more punchy. There's a little bit more animation. At least I feel like there's a little bit more animation when you're, just opening apps or clicking on things. You have a little bit more animation. It is a little quicker. I've noticed that it's a little bit quicker than I think I was running iOS 13.7 in the past, so I do feel like it's a little bit quicker and a little bit more snappy than what it was. I haven't had any bugs with it. It's worked flawless since I've had it. Another feature I noticed is that when you go to the left here, all this has changed. So I had to kind of organize this because it was out of focus. So I have my Outlooks, my calendar stuff, Google Keep, Lightroom, Overcast, all your general stuff here. You do have a Google search thing, which I think is pretty cool that you can just, tap and search. If you're just wanting to search something really quickly, it's a fairly easy thing to do. And you can edit that same way you could before. I just think it's a little bit more useful now than what it was. So another thing you will notice is that you still have your standard two screens, but if you go to this, you can actually have multiple different screens. So you can have 4, 5, 6, same thing you could have before, but you can also set these as different home screens depending on what kind of, season it is, or, if you just want different home screens throughout the week or month or however you want to set that up. So that's kind of neat. Next thing I notice is that when you now scroll to the right, you actually have this app library, and what it does is it organizes it in the fashion that it thinks that you want it organized. So you have your recently added, utility, social. These are generally the same apps that I would use, throughout the day, but you can also search through your app library, which is nice. But I did notice that when I pull it over, and I just look at how much more vibrant I think the actual screen and the actual software is. It just seems a little bit more vibrant than what it was in the past. You do have a translate now, so Apple has their own translate, which I don't use. I never used Google Translate, but if that's something you used in the past, I could see how that would be useful. Another thing that I noticed is that the new Apple Watch iOS is out, which has a bunch more different faces. I know this isn't part of iOS 14. It's Apple Watch, but it's something to consider. You have all these new watch faces, which is nice. Apple's never been good at watch faces, I don't think. They're just not the best implemented out there, but you do get a lot more variety with that. They've updated their health, their fitness, their iMessage is also updated, so you do have some updates there. Again, none of this stuff I've actually used yet, but you can actually set, if you want to actually set a priority, you can actually pin people's text messages to the top, so you can actually do that, which is neat. So if you text the same people over and over, you don't want to go through and find it, you can actually set that to the top. Another cool feature that I noticed is I mainly use Chrome and Gmail or Outlook, so you can actually set that. So if you actually go to the app, so let's see if I can find it here. Too many apps. There it is, Chrome. Oop, that's capital one. So you can actually set Chrome as your default now. So you can just go through, set it. Where previously you couldn't, you can now set that as your default, which I think is a huge plus. I really, really like that they actually go through and let you do that. And that's really it. The negative is that the battery life, it really has destroyed my battery life throughout the time of adding those widgets. It was only when I added the widgets, I'm going to try taking them off and see what happens. But if I go to my battery, I'm still at battery health 100%. But if you just go through and look over the past 10 days, you can see how much more my battery usage has kind of went up here a little bit. My activity generally stays about the same, but my battery usage has definitely gone up there compared to previously. Again, not a lot, but if you're running an older phone, you will probably notice this, and you'll have to just charge your phone more often. Face unlock is a little bit quicker. It still doesn't unlock my face with a mask on. I work at a hospital, so that would be a cool feature if they would have added that. Supposedly they were going to, but it still doesn't unlock my face with that. I haven't noticed anything with the camera, no different updates there. Again, iMessage has more updates, different emojis, things like that, but not anything I use. And that's it, guys. It seems much quicker, much more vibrant. I think this is a massive update compared to some of the older ones. So I will probably get a more thorough review of it as I go, but this is just my general first day impressions. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them below. If you like this video or videos like this, feel free to like it, and it will actually help me generate a little bit more traffic so I can get some more videos going. Thanks everyone for watching. Have a good rest of the day, and I'll see you guys next time.